Story 1. I have limited social skills and experience significant anxiety when starting conversations with strangers, so I tend to avoid them. I wake up, go to work, go home, wait for sleep, and repeat every day. Story 2. For many years, it was just because I was very unattractive, but now it is also because I am quite old. Well, such is life. Story 3. I am short. I am in my 30s, finishing school, unemployed, overweight, and have several mental health issues. Story 4. I live on an island with 5,000 people. 50% are aged 45 and older, 25% are children and teenagers, and 15% are adults who have children. That leaves 10% in my own dating range, ages 20 to 30. Most of them do not live here full-time because they attend school in big cities. The remainder of single people must be halved because I do not date men, and further reduced to exclude those who would not date me. That leaves about 25 people who fit into the dating category for me. I do not know where they are because I do not see them around. Story 5. I have no problem being myself with women I am not interested in. If I am attracted to a woman, my brain turns to mush. Story 6. I attract some, but I do not like chasing. They have to meet me in the middle. I also have some social and mental issues I am still working through. Story 7. Standards are too high. I've been told, but I disagree. Wanting to find an atheist, child-free, and drug-free partner is not a high standard or anywhere near it. Story 8. I'm struggling with self-confidence. Whether or not that is true, the thought that I am a failure makes me believe that no woman in my age group would want to be with me. I am in my mid-30s without a career path, goals, dreams, hopes, motivation, or interests. I still live with my parent and do not have a college degree. I have difficulties with social skills. I would love to find a partner and move out together, but I feel completely undesirable. Story 9. There are no natural places to find girlfriends in real life. I am not going to approach a woman when she is choosing which package of butter to buy at the grocery store. That just seems strange. The ideal situation would be to be paired with a single woman for a round of golf, but the chances of matching with a woman in golf are almost zero. Imagine spending 4 hours getting to know an attractive woman while playing a casual game of golf. Story 10. The biggest challenge for me is trust. I cannot trust girls nowadays because even if they are in a relationship, they still have a backup plan. Social media, such as Instagram, has destroyed true love and loyalty. People frequently jump from one relationship to another. I do not want to fall in love again with the wrong girls. Story 11. I am honestly not sure. Part of it is probably because I am very self-critical, and that is not an attractive feature. Even so, I think I have had an unusually difficult time finding women who wish to date me. I suspect I lack some common communication skills that other people take for granted, but I cannot be sure about that either. Story 12. Apparently, the number of women I approach is limited. I was telling my therapist about my most recent attempts and what happened. She was flabbergasted that it all happened within the span of 4 years, 3 of which were during the COVID-19 pandemic. It takes me a long time to get to know if they are in a relationship, if not, whether they are looking, and if they seem at least vaguely interested in me. Excluding dating applications, I have met only one person like that in the past 2 years. Story 13. Getting over the desire for one person. Over the past year, I have mentally trained myself to such a degree that I am no longer attracted to anyone and have no desire for intimacy of any kind. Story 14. Figuring out if and when it is appropriate to approach a woman can be challenging, especially after seeing many posts on social media where women ask men to leave them alone and not to approach them. Additionally, it seems like every woman my age is either already in a relationship or has clearly expressed that she is not interested in pursuing one. This has led me to fear that I may be too late to find someone. Are there still women who are single and looking for a relationship? Story 15. Being decent in a sea where good is the bare minimum means you do not get approached. Approaching a girl when most men are seen as an annoyance at best or a threat at worst makes me feel bad about it before I even try. Definitely a me issue though. Story 16. I just can't do it anymore. The dating world is a difficult place filled with people who lack restraint, have no concept of commitment, and avoid accountability. People are crueler and more selfish than ever, and I do not want any part of it. The self-esteem issues and anxiety I developed from my last relationship do not help either. Story 17. Lack of a career. I am 30 years old, so I am at an age where most people expect their partner to have some sort of career. Is it possible that someone would not mind? Perhaps, but I am not emotionally prepared to deal with the amount of rejection it would take to get to that point. Even if I met someone who did not mind that part of me, I am sure my own insecurity about it would sabotage the relationship, so I would need to sort that out anyway. Not to mention, taking people out on dates as well as life in general costs money. Story 18. I have a theory that might address younger men, based on my own experience when I was younger. Under 25, as a man, you literally have zero value. What have you actually done? Confidence comes from competency, actually doing things. Sure, you can fake it, but that is just pretending. Charisma comes from confidence. You will generally notice that men who attract women have competence, confidence, and charisma. Some of them are genuinely nice and fun to be around. Guess where being nice and fun to be around comes from? Confidence. So how does this all tie together? Basically, as a younger man, you need to do a lot of things that you can be proud of, activities that push you, give you a sense of accomplishment, build inner strength, provide stories to tell, and change how you see the world. This process will develop your competence, confidence, and charisma. Think of it this way. Why is the stereotype that the athlete always gets the girl? Because the athlete is actually doing something, playing sports, winning trophies. Those take work and build the athlete's competence, confidence, and charisma. That is the attraction. Whether the athlete is nice or a bully is a separate matter. Being fun to be around is key, and that comes from confidence, which in turn comes from doing things, whatever those things may be. Story 19. Just as a general thought, I have noticed a lot of men who struggle seem to be really bad at accepting their own appearance and not trying to aim too high. Many men who say things like, "I never get any matches on Tinder," are swiping left on many women who are actually in their league, and then do not understand why they are not getting any matches. Obviously, it is easier said than done to accept your own appearance and limitations if you unfortunately fall below 4 out of 10 in attractiveness, since appearance-based privilege is definitely a very real thing. However, the sooner you come to terms with it, the happier you will be. Story 20. For me, it is just the atmosphere to meet someone. I have no anxiety about meeting someone or striking up a conversation. It is just that I do not have the environment. Story 21. Finding someone to actually talk to who is truly interested, along with confidence and self-body image issues. Story 22. Genuinely hung up on myself. I can't really connect with anyone if I don't feel good about myself. I feel like I'm a good quality person sometimes, but I make a lot of mistakes. I'm self-aware, and instead of being a confident person, I'm just an idiot. Story 23. I am autistic. It was easier in high school because so many women, one is bound to agree, but life is not high school anymore. College is worse, though, because in my opinion most college girls just want to take advantage of the fact they are in college. It is all fun. Nothing is serious for anyone. Story 24. Social anxiety, wanting one thing versus being another, and romantic challenges create a complex mix of loneliness. Story 25. I am gay and living in a country where it is illegal. That is why I cannot have a boyfriend. The LGBTQ+ community here does not want long-term relationships either. Story 26. I am 31 years old and have been obese since childhood. I am working on it with slow success. I never really learned how to talk to people beyond a transactional, exchanging information kind of way, so I am pretty boring to hang out with unless we are engaged in some activity I like, such as music, movies, cooking, or shooting. All that, and any confidence I may have ever had died when I almost flunked out of college trying to get a music degree. I just do not see what I could offer to bring to a relationship right now. It is definitely not off the table, but I have enough on my plate trying to survive the stresses of my current job, looking after my dog, and trying to remake my body into a healthy one for the first time. I would have to encounter a very exceptional person for me to shift everything else further down the list of my priorities before I get my other matters together. Story 27. I cannot figure out why I do not get any matches on apps. I have reviewed my profiles with multiple friends, both male and female, and refined them into something they all agree looks good. I am not especially unattractive, although I am a little overweight, which is a work in progress and going well. None of my friends believe me when I say I get literally zero matches because they do not see why, but that is the honest truth. Story 28. I am not a romantic person, and I think many traditional dating behaviors that women usually appreciate are performative and silly. I also lose interest in about 90% of the women I have been with after the second time we have sex. I used to think I was not good enough. It took me until I was 33 or 34 and some therapy to realize I am aromantic or something close to it. Story 29. I have low self-esteem, and the dates I have been on have not really clicked with me. I am also not a very sexual person, and I think that vibe kind of throws women off. I can have conversations with women all day. Many of my friends are women. The problem is convincing them that I am worth their time romantically. Story 30. Honestly, I have access to a social circle and sufficient free time. I take care of my disabled parents when I am not at work, so my time is mostly spent at work, home, or maybe the grocery store if I am feeling adventurous. I do not have any in real life friends. I have nothing to do and nobody to do it with. I am overweight and not very attractive, which does not help, but I supposedly have many positive personality traits that probably outweigh that, if there were anyone to evaluate them. Story 31. Well, honestly, I stopped trying. Even if I somehow worked past my crippling social anxiety, I just don't feel like I am that interesting of a person and am not really happy at all. If she doesn't start the conversation after I have already shared the interesting things from my past, I have nothing. I can definitely add to a conversation pretty well as long as it is not something completely foreign to me, but that probably is not enough. Story 32. The economic advantage of having someone to share costs with is obvious, provided we are in agreement about finances. Story 33. I am 42 years old, cannot have children, and do not want children. All the available women around me either have children, which is a deal breaker, or they are not attractive to me at all, either because of bad personality, vanity, or immaturity. It is not that I cannot have children, but I will not lower my standards or settle. In short, the challenge is finding someone compatible within my area. I live in northern Alberta, so long distance is the only other option, and that is a hard no. I have been there, done that, no thanks. Story 34. Before meeting my wife, I went on roughly 30 first dates without a single second date. This was over the course of about 2.5 years and emotionally drained me. My wife later admitted that she quickly came to believe I had almost no social skills, which explains the situation. However, she decided to overlook that, and we are ultimately very happy. Story 35. To make the first step. I don't know. I have taken many first steps, and some were successful, but unfortunately, they never lasted long. Today, I feel like I don't have the power to take the first step anymore. Story 36. Game. I can approach any girl and show a good amount of personality and creativity. I usually look clean, make eye contact, and smile. I listen and show confidence. Being able to properly flirt has always been a challenge, so they lose interest before I can even ask them out. If I do get their information, they ghost me when I ask them out. I struggle with making them feel a connection with me. If they don't feel it, you don't get the girl. Story 37. For me, it is to understand what I am doing wrong. I really do not know what it is that women want, and I am not able to figure it out. Every time I ask my friends who are able to find a partner, they always say that they do the same things I do. So I do not know what I am doing wrong, but whatever it is that women want, I do not have it. That is also when I understood that maybe love and relationships are not meant for everybody. Story 38. I got too comfortable being single. I was in a relationship for 10 years and married for half of it. I miss having someone to come home to or spend time with, but I have grown so accustomed to not worrying about anyone else or having to check in with someone that it cannot outweigh my current lifestyle. I do whatever I want all the time, and I am very unstressed. Anytime I reconsider dating, I decide it is not worth shaking up what I have now. Story 39. I don't really make a lot of money. I can't drive, and I am a little overweight to be honest. So yeah, that's it. Story 40. Looking at my friends' examples, none of them had to put any effort into a relationship. Women just chose them. They didn't have to flirt or do anything. They are tall, good-looking, only children with a lot of money, and women are obsessed with them. They regularly do everything on the list of women's red flags. Talk over them, disrespect them, flirt with other women right in front of their partners, cheat, yet their partners stay loyal and women around them constantly want them. If I want a woman to touch me, I have to pay money. They always treated me poorly. Being around them makes me feel small, insignificant, and literally wanting to hurt myself because I can never even reach 1% of the affection my friends receive just for existing. Story 41. Being conventionally attractive, people think I am either a player or perfect. I meet people who always have their guards up, and one little mistake makes them think they were right about me. I said I would call at 6:30 p.m., but if I call at 6:37 p.m., then that is proof I am sleeping around. On the other hand, people who think I am perfect feel disillusioned when I make one little mistake and do not want to talk to me anymore. I literally had someone tell me, "Yeah, sorry, I do not think this will work." I asked why and was told it was because I mentioned I do not know how to change a flat tire, which every man should know how to do. Sex is not that hard to get, but people who actually like you for who you are and not your looks are rare. It really shows how rampant superficiality is. That is the bigger issue at play. Story 42. My wife allows me to have a girlfriend, but finding a girl who meets all the criteria is the problem. Does not have an issue with my wife. Has time when I have time and understands that I have to divide my attention. Does not get attached to the point of trying to steal me from my wife or breaking my heart. Is not looking for a sugar daddy. Is open to adventurous intimacy. Story 43. Get girls? Women are not property. I have been married. They are not property. Okay, on to the answer. I cannot get a girlfriend because I am not mentally ready for another partner after a divorce and a bad breakup. The biggest challenge is myself. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.